Hi, my name is Coldbeer and let's start with the Expanse, a Telltale series. If you like science fiction but never watched the Expanse TV show, well, you should. These are one of the best sci-fi series ever made. Although at first you may be overwhelmed by the count of the characters and political intrigues, don't give up. The show really delivers if you stick to it. And this is Telltale's take on this wonderful world and story. Here you'll explore the dangerous and uncharted edges of the belt. From scavenging wrecked ships in zero-G environment to surviving a mutiny or fighting fearsome pirates, you will have to make difficult choices and then suffer the consequences. You will scour shipwrecks, use magnetic boots to walk on walls and ceilings, and utilize zero-G thrusters to flow through the void. As you explore mysterious ships and the open expanse of space, you will interact with objects in the world and speak with members of your crew. The game consists of 5 episodes, so plenty of mind food for you. World War Z. Humanity is on the brink of extinction. From the Americas to Europe, the undead apocalypse continues to spread uncontrollably, and as the inevitable end looms, a hardened few band together to defeat the horde and outlive the dead. So basically all you have to do is to find a lot of canned food and wait for a month or so for every zombie to rot. But no, this is not what you will do, because otherwise this would be a very boring, lame food tasting game with, survival elements, because not every canned food is survivable. This game is nothing like that. World War Z is a co-op third-person shooter for up to 4 players, featuring swarms of hundreds of zombies. Based on a famous movie with Brad Pitt, the game focuses on fast-paced gameplay while exploring new storylines from all around the world. If you like zombies and shooting, keep in mind that the game has very positive reviews and it's probably a good match for you. Hades. 98% of positive reviews left by hundreds of thousands of people is the best proof that Hades is a masterpiece. This is a godlike, roguelike dungeon crawler that combines the best aspects of action RPG games and is a wonderful storyteller. As the immortal prince of the underworld, you wield powers and mythic weapons of Olympus to break free from the clutches of the god of the dead himself. You must grow strong and unravel more of the story with each unique escape attempt. Yeah, each attempt. That kinda sums up this game, where you will be dying all the time. But dying is a part of Hades, it's not something you should be afraid of. And people on Steam are saying, well, it doesn't matter what they say, it's a masterpiece. They are all praising the game and saying that it is the best ever, just like potato salad. Cry Primal. Welcome to the Stone Age, a time for extreme danger and limitless adventure, when giant mammoths and saber-toothed tigers ruled the earth and humanity was at the bottom of the food chain. Well, not the very bottom, raccoons were still below us, but a fat, juicy human would also be more preferred meal for a saber-toothed tiger, so I don't know if this lower position of raccoons really help us here. As the last survivor of your hunting group, you will learn to craft a deadly arsenal of, sticks and stones to fend off fierce beasts and outsmart enemy tribes to conquer the land and become the apex predator. That won't be easy, except if you play on easy, then it will be easy. Subnautica Below Zero. You will submerge yourself in a sub-zero expedition in an Arctic region of a distant, dangerous planet. Arriving with little more than your wits and some survival equipment, you set out to investigate what happened to your sister. Something undiscovered lurks around every corner. You will swim along with giant fishes, encounter the haunting shadow leviathan, and meet some adorable creatures along the way as well. Keep your wits about you. Not all creatures in this strange world are friendly. If you played the first part, then you know that Subnautica is almost a horror game. You can literally see the horror tag among others on Steam. The game can be really terrifying, especially when you dive down deep into the darkness. More than 90% of reviews on Steam are positive, although if you never played the first part, don't skip it for more shiny graphics. It's a crime. Start with part 1 and you will thank me later. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. In this third-person action-adventure game, you will play as Star-Lord, and thanks to your bold yet questionable leadership, you have persuaded an oddball crew of unlikely heroes to join you. Some jerk, surely not you, has set off a chain of catastrophic events, and only you can hold the unpredictable Guardians together long enough to fight off total interplanetary meltdown. For this you will have to use element blasters, tag team beatdowns, jet boot-powered dropkicks, even put pineapple into potato salad. Nothing is off limits. Well, I'm kidding. The last thing surely is. That is a jail time guaranteed, and if you think it's all going to plan, you will be in for a world of surprises, with the consequences of your actions guaranteed to keep the Guardians on their toes. The game is one of the most beloved Marvel Universe games, with positive reviews hovering way above 90%. Deathloop. It is a first-person shooter where two rival assassins are trapped in a mysterious time loop on a remote island, doomed to repeat the same day for eternity. Your only chance for escape is to end the cycle by assassinating 8 main targets before the day resets. Every new loop is your opportunity to change everything. You will use the knowledge you gain from each attempt to change your playstyle, so it is fair to say that it is a roguelite game and may not be appealing to everyone. Here you can choose to stealthily sneak through levels or jump into the fight, you know, guns blazing, shouting war cries and profanities. In each loop you'll discover new secrets, gather intel on your targets as well as on the island, and expand your arsenal. You will be armed with a host of otherworldly abilities and incredible weaponry, although I must warn you that the game's biggest strength is also its biggest weakness. People on Steam are saying that the game is repetitive.
Yeah, who could have thought?
Project Zomboid. The fact that this game is in early access from, wait for it, from 2013, so 10 years now, doesn't scare the crowd of giving it a very positive review score, with the recent 8,000 reviews being in an overwhelmingly positive range. So what is this phenomenal title? Well, to say simply, it's a zombie survival game, but to say that, it's just like scratching the surface of the whale balls with your nail. And I'm not sorry for putting this picture into your head. Also, now you're thinking,
Do whales actually have them?
I don't know, it's for you to Google, I guess, I'm not brave enough. So Project Zomboid is a sandbox and your goal is to survive as long as you can. So basically this is an enormous world full of opportunities to die horribly, in one way or another, sooner or later, but you know, you will. You can play the game alone or with friends, even 4-player split-screen co-op mode is available. That is for sure not a thing you may casually encounter, but you know what you will encounter casually here? Depression, boredom, hunger, thirst, illness, cold nights, electricity shortages, hordes of zombies, and winter. Winter is coming, and you don't have proper clothes.
But I have.
No, you don't. Give those to me. Stellaris. Here every game begins with a civilization who just discovered the means to travel between stars and is ready to explore the galaxy. You will have your science ships survey and explore anomalies, leading you into a myriad of missions, introducing strange worlds with even stranger stories and discoveries that may completely change your outcome. And as always, you are not alone in the universe and you don't know what you will encounter. Maybe a friendly trade federation, maybe a trade federation we saw in Star Wars, and maybe just plain space cannibals. And you will have to deal with all this galactic nonsense all alone, or in multiplayer mode with your friends. Hunt Showdown. Here you will play alone or in teams as you search for clues to help you track nightmarish monsters and compete against other hunters who are after the same reward. Here you'll have to kill and banish your target, which will be some really horrible monster, but you will treat it as a sack of money instead. Collect the bounty and then get ready for the showdown. Once the bounty is in your hands, every other hunter on the map will be after your prize. Hunt has a very positive review score and it's very addictive, although it has a really steep learning curve, and there is a huge chance that you will be shredded to bits by other more experienced players. Despite that, almost everyone is saying that this game is awesome and super fun. Valheim. Most of us can remember the hype it caused on release date, and the hype is well deserved. This game is really a masterpiece with a review score never, at least on Steam, never below 90%. It may scare you that the game is still in early access after all those years, but if you focus on the main objectives only, it will still provide you with more than 70 hours of gameplay. And in general, Valheim is a brutal exploration and survival game for 1 to 10 players, set in a procedurally generated world inspired by Norse mythology. You will craft powerful weapons, construct longhouses, grow your balls and slay mighty foes to prove yourself to Odin. Remnant from the Ashes. This is a third-person RPG shooter. Here the world has been thrown into a chaos by an ancient evil from another dimension. As gamers on Steam pointed out, they just ripped off a plot from Neverending Story. That's a shame, but in general this is a great game. If I had to describe it in one word, it would be RPG Dark Souls with guns. Yes, that is a one word if you throw out the spaces between them, and I did so, sue me. So here as one of the last remnants of humanity, you must set out alone or alongside up to 2 other survivors, and then face down hordes of deadly enemies, rebuild and retake what was lost. The strongest side of the game is the various guns and weapons. They're really good looking and fun to use. You know how in some other games you get a nice looking gun, but there is no real satisfaction to shoot it? Well, that's not the case in Remnant. Also, people are praising the great co-op mode, so you can play the game with your mother-in-law and do some nice bonding together. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Here you'll put on the shoes of a legendary Viking warrior on a quest of glory. Explore England's dark ages as you raid your enemies, grow your settlement and build your political power. Yeah, this is one of the most innovative Assassin's Creed games, and the Nordic theme of Vikings is what fans of the franchise always wanted, although it is far from the top predators of the genre, such as Title of Third Witcher or even Skyrim by the quality of story and characters. Also, no boobs for you here. Viking game without boobs. What is this blasphemy? Cult of the Lamb. More than 90% of a positive review score is not something you may easily ignore. You know, you may ignore your coworkers, you may ignore that nasty pimple on your nose, you may even ignore the fact that you earn the same amount of money as in the last year and the inflation is making you poor, but you can't ignore potato salad, boobies and Cult of a Lamb. Because here you will be thrown into the role of a possessed lamb and must start your own cult in a land of false prophets. You will venture out into diverse and mysterious regions to build a loyal community of fanatical followers and spread your word to become the one true cult. Also, you will have to destroy the non-believers and defeat rival cult leaders to absorb their power. And potato salad. People on Steam are saying that this game is unbelievably fun, has great art style and is really addictive, just like a real cult. Project Hospital. You'll manage your very own hospital. It's a serious business without any funny diseases or events. Here you'll become an ace doctor, an aspiring architect and a successful manager all at the same time. I especially like the details of this game. How you put a microscope on the table, how monitors are lit up only when the doctor is using them, and many other similar things. You know how they say, the potato salad is in the details. Also, this game has great educational value. I've seen actual doctors saying that this is a very impressive title. Well, honestly, anyone can introduce themselves as a doctor on the internet, so take this with a grain of salt. For example, I am a doctor as well, but I can cure only one disease, your eternal boredom. For that I have a vaccine of good games in my entertaining list. And speaking about this game, if you ever wanted to become an outstanding penis doctor, but the life ripped this chance out of your weak, limpy hands, this is your opportunity to at least take a glimpse at this glorious life you will never have. SnowRunner. As I've said a few times already, I usually don't play any car games. You could probably tell that by the sheer amount of racing and driving videos and reviews of these games in my channel. There aren't any. But somehow I play this game where you have to drive a heavy load truck and I liked it. This game is very different from anything that involves cars. This is Dark Souls of driving. SnowRunner is a torture, and by torture I mean that this is some kind of a puzzle game. Yeah, every mission is a puzzle you have to solve. It's really hard. You often fail, your truck is stuck, it happens so often that it even rhymes, and you have to restart the whole mission over and over again. But when you finally solve one puzzle and successfully deliver the goods, you are up for the next challenge, and then the next one. The torture continues. And when you finish this game, keep in mind that there is one more, called the Mud Runner, so plenty of torture for you. Wildermyth. Game has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, meaning that it is close to a masterpiece and it is blasphemy to ignore it. Literally, you will burn in hell, of your religion of choice, if you at least don't watch the short overview of Wildermyth till the end. Or for an atheist, you'll find cat hairs in your coffee all the time, even if you don't own a cat. Way worse than hell. So like the best tabletop role-playing experiences, this game gives you choices and answers your every decision with consequences that drive your characters forward. But the best thing is that all heroes here will die someday. Yeah, that is probably not the best thing, to be honest, but here you'll get to hold on to your favorites, reintroduce them in the next adventure, and over many lifetimes you create your own legendary pantheon. This game is truly great. Dead Cells. Overwhelmingly positive reviews should lock your attention even if you don't like pixel art graphics. And this game can stand strong behind the name of the style, it's true art. The game is really beautiful, just like you, my friend, but graphics are just one side of the coin. People on Steam are saying that this roguelite Metroidvania is probably the best game of the genre. Along with the graphics, you will get great music and gameplay more addictive than potato salad. People are also joking that here using the machete and pistol weapon is the closest thing we'll ever get to Bloodborne on PC. And speaking about platforms, it should be an amazing experience on Steam Deck. Anno 1800s. Here you will take charge of your own future as you navigate the rapidly evolving technological landscape and malicious political arena of the 19th century. In other words, here you'll have to build an empire that will reach from the stinky cities of Europe to the untouched jungles of South America. Game is rich with technological innovations and conspiracies, so it will provide you an opportunity to prove your skills as a ruler, or, you know, to disappoint everyone more likely. You will create huge cities, plan efficient logistic networks, settle on an exotic new continent, send out expeditions around the globe and dominate your opponents by diplomacy, trade, warfare, and your pure awesomeness. The bad thing about this game is that it is armed with DRM and requires a Ubisoft account. Sometimes I think that they do everything to repel you from buying their games. Those features do nothing, you can find the game in every pirate website anyway, so why even bother? Anyway, about 80% of reviews are positive, so if town builders are your spoon of potato salad, it may be an interesting choice for you. The Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series. I think most of us have watched or at least have heard about the TV series of The Walking Dead. It was a wonderful show for a few seasons. Then almost every at least a bit more interesting actor left the show, mostly because of the poor writing, but it still continued for like 30 more seasons. Well, I am exaggerating of course, and I have to admit that I stopped watching it way past the mark where it stopped being good. Where a hair model without any acting skills and a samurai girl without face expressions led the show. It was bad but still addicting. Anyway, I'm telling you all this because this game is like TV show, but when it was actually good. Yeah, I know it's hard to remember those times, but Telltale's game is a masterpiece, and this time I am not exaggerating. This version contains 23 unique episodes and more than 40 hours of content. And now, thank you for watching, and don't forget that in my channel you can find hundreds of videos like that with new ones released almost every day. Have a nice day and I'll see you next time. Bye.